Imagine living in a world where winter doesn't end for 10,000 years. 40,000 years ago, during the last glacial maximum, northern temperatures plunged to lethal lows. Most animal species packed up and migrated south, or simply died out. Yet somehow tiny bands of weak, hairless apes didn't just survive, they thrived. How did early humans stay warm without electricity, insulated coats, or central heating? The standard answer you hear in school is simple. They built fires and wore furs. But modern science reveals that fire and furs were only 10% of the story. In reality, our ancestors unlocked a radical biological secret. They hijacked a hidden mammalian superpower buried deep in our evolutionary code. A state known to scientists as controlled metabolic torpor. When exposed to prolonged extreme cold, modern humans panic and freeze. Your body violently shivers, draining precious calorie reserves in just a few hours. Shivering is an emergency response. It is efficient for short bursts, but fatal in long winters. Early humans, however, trained their metabolism to turn shivering off. Instead of burning energy to create external movement, their bodies activated brown fat. Brown adipose tissue acts like an internal biological heater, burning lipids directly into pure warmth. While a modern person freezes, an Ice Age human could keep their core organ warm while dormant. This meant they could sleep through brutal -30-degree nights without freezing to death. It was essentially human mini-hibernation. But internal metabolism was only half the equation. They needed a physical fortress. Caves seem like obvious shelters, but open cave mouths are actually lethal wind tunnels. If you pitch camp near the entrance, draft winds will strip away your body heat in minutes. To survive, early humans engineered the world's first architectural microclimates. They ventured deep into the cave system, far past the reach of natural sunlight. Deep underground, Earth acts as a massive thermal insulator, keeping temperature completely stable. Whether outside was 30 above or 40 below, deep caves stayed hovering around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Then came the issue of toxic carbon monoxide from campfires in enclosed spaces. Build a fire in a sealed chamber, and smoke inhalation will kill you before the cold does. So Ice Age bands developed stone air baffles and double-chamber hearths. These stone walls channeled cold, fresh air inward near the floor while drawing toxic smoke out along the ceiling. They built thermal convection loops inside stone shelters tens of thousands of years before engineering schools. When caves weren't available on open tundra plains, they turned to giant bone architecture. Archaeologists in Ukraine discovered huts built entirely from hundreds of interconnected mammoth tusks. These bone structures were covered with layers of dense soil, moss, and thick mammoth hides. The bone frame provided dense structural support that wouldn't snap under tons of heavy ice. Inside these mammoth domes, human body heat alone was enough to raise temperatures significantly. Which brings us to their most powerful social survival secret: communal huddling dynamics. Penguins do it, wolves do it, and Ice Age humans perfected it into a precise science. A tight human cluster reduces total exposed surface area by up to 60%. They rotated positions throughout the night so nobody stayed on the frozen outer edge for long. You can have warm caves and brown fat, but without fuel, your internal engine shuts down. In an Ice Age environment, an adult male needed up to 6,000 calories per day just to stay alive. That is 3 times what modern humans consume sitting in climate-controlled offices. Where on earth did they find 6,000 calories in a landscape devoid of plants or fruits? The answer lay inside giant megafauna bones, pure animal fat and bone marrow. Lean muscle meat was actually dangerous to eat exclusively. Eating only lean protein without fat leads to protein poisoning or rabbit starvation. Your liver cannot process excessive amino acids without fat or carbohydrates to balance metabolic pathways. Ice Age humans targeted fat with surgical precision. They prized the tongue, brain, visceral fat, and deep leg marrow of mammoth carcasses. Bone marrow is 90% lipid density. It was literally nature's butter stick. To preserve fat for long months of blizzard storms, they invented primitive pemmican. By drying lean meat and rendering animal tallow over low flames, they created shelf-stable energy blocks. These energy bars could last for years without spoiling or rotting in the freezing air. A single pocket-sized slab contained enough energy to power a hunter through 3 days of tracking. They also used animal fat as fuel for portable ice lamps. These fat lamps produced heat and light without creating blinding smoke. Without smoke, hunters could stay hidden deep inside cliff caves without giving away location to predators. Predators like the saber-toothed cat and cave hyena were constantly hunting the exact same shelters, which forced early humans to invent a revolutionary fashion innovation: airtight, tailored clothing, Neanderthals had survived in Europe for hundreds of thousands of years, wearing simple draped animal skins. A loose pelt poncho keeps you warm while walking, but leaks heat completely when wind blows. Around 45,000 years ago, Homo sapiens invented the bone-eyed needle. This tiny invention changed human history forever. With needles, humans didn't just drape furs. They cut, fitted, and stitched airtight clothing. They created multi-layered parka systems with internal air pockets that trapped body warmth. Inner layers turned fur inside to trap micro-air currents against human skin. Outer layers faced smooth leather outward to shed snow and block howling wind. They even invented tailored fur boots lined with dried grass insulation. Neanderthals, who never developed eyed needle technology, suffered severe frostbite loss. Tailored clothing allowed Homo sapiens hunters to stay active outdoors during extreme sub-zero blizzards. It transformed humans from shivering cave dwellers into supreme apex predators of the frozen world. By combining metabolic adaptation, cave engineering, high-fat nutrition, and tailored sewing, our ancestors turned the deadliest climate in human history into their personal playground. When the ice finally retreated 10,000 years ago, Homo sapiens were the last species standing. The next time you complain about your home thermostat being set 1 degree too cold, remember the ancient biological metabolic engine still resting inside your DNA. You are the direct descendant of the survivors who outsmarted the endless winter. Which prehistoric survival hack surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to Livix for more insane secrets from forgotten human history.